Oh, lights and everything, brilliant. Sound, people can hear me, see me, vaguely. Good afternoon, Rouleur Classic. My name's Ned Boulting. It's good to be back again for the millionth year in a row. We got another great array of guests, as I'm sure you're aware. And I'd like to introduce onto stage now for the next 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, a man who I've met on a number of occasions. He's absolutely charming. For a while, one of the greatest riders in the Grand Tours, bar none. An exceptional Palmares, really interesting character who's doing some interesting work at the moment, but has got a long and interesting story to tell about how he got into racing at the highest level in the first place. So please put your hands together for the winner of the Giro d'Italia in 2006 and 2010, the one and only Ivan Basso, ladies and gentlemen.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Ciao a tutti.
Take a seat. And joining Ivan is Andy McGrath, whose Italian skills are here just in case Ivan's English fails him. But I think that's unlikely because I've spoken to Ivan plenty before, and your English is excellent, isn't it?
Well, if I need help, he helped me like last year, but I try to do my best.
You'll be fine, don't worry.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, that's quite an interesting question to start with, because when you were a young man, when you started as a professional in the peloton, nobody spoke English, yeah? I mean, those riders from America or Great Britain or Australia who came to ride in Europe, they had to learn Italian or French or Spanish, right?
Well, but you have to know, in the bunch, we have the good things are in English and the bad things are in Italian. When something wrong in the bunch or somebody touch you, they talk in Italian. So the bad things are in Italian for international language. Now, finally, that's happened when in the Italian team come in some rider from US, from England, from Germany or wherever, many nationality into one team, and you have to find one language, one international language into the team. And finally, the more easy is put English like a priority, and everybody start to talk English, and I think it's good. It's one part of where the cycling developed a lot, and is starting in 2004, that kind of improvement.
Yeah, a lot has changed. Actually, before we talk about the past, I'd like to talk to you about your present job. In fact, this time last year, you joined us here at the Rouleur Classic with Alberto Contador, and we spoke about your plans for the coming year, working with the development team, the Contador Foundation. Now, 12 months later, 1 year later, what can you report? How has it been?
Well, for us, it's super nice here. We don't expect do so many victory. It's just not only the 10 victories we do. It's the mentality of the team is incredible. We don't expect that kind of attitude in every race. We try to give this message in the winter, in the past winter. But sometimes it's not easy to explain to rider 19, 18, 19, 20 years old, the same mentality of the older.
Yeah.
Because when you are 20 years old, you want to win, and it's difficult to think to help another. So we try to explain how you have to work to arrive one day in the World Tour or in the cycling, where you have to arrive. So where you have the dream to arrive. And finally, hard work day by day. Myself and Alberto, we spend a lot of time in the training camp, in the race, and we work hard all year, and finally is the best victory of the year is in every single race the team give or the victory, but in every race we know we are there. And we ride for win, we ride to work each other, we do a lot of teamwork, and we are happy because one rider of us go to Trek Segafredo, Matteo Moschetti, and we have another 3 interesting riders for 2020, so we are so
Very
happy.
good.
Yes.
Very good.
So no English riders, because Sky take everybody.
Yep. Do you have a rider with you who you think, yeah, I could see him maybe right at the top of the sport, maybe as a Grand Tour winner in the future? You don't have to name his name, but do you see that potential in some of your riders?
In that moment, the rider 18 to 20 years old is difficult to say one day can win Giro, Tour or Vuelta. It's not easy. You see the talent, you see the mentality, but it's really difficult to... If I say this rider can win a big tour, it's just maybe a dream for myself also, but I don't say the truth. In this moment in Italy, we have one rider, for my opinion, can win one day Giro, Tour and Vuelta, is Gianni Moscon, also from Sky.
Really?
Yes. Yes, he's the best talent.
You see Gianni Moscon as a GC rider?
Yes. With the improvement in the next 2-3 years, yes. I think after Nibali in Italy, Moscon, he take the seat.
If he's not suspended for being a racist or punching people.
No, sometimes...
He's a difficult character, though, Ivan. He's made some mistakes quite early on in his career.
Of course, but he's young and he knows. Sometimes the lesson is important to don't repeat, and I think, of course, he don't have to do again. But what the good things he do is much more than the bad things.
Okay.
So I think we have to also considering the stressful and is not you don't have to do, but sometimes. Direction is not good, but
it's not the best.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
I'm sure Gianni in his process of improvement also is not only watts or speed or dynamic. When you improve in all area, including the character.
Yep.
Correct? Character. Yep. And the attitude in the race. So
very good. Very interesting. I've not heard that before. That's Moscon is a Grand Tour winner potentially. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my opinion.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, why not? Because when riders are young, as you've indicated, it's very difficult to predict where their career might end up. For example, Geraint Thomas wins the Tour de France at the age of 32 for the first time, and for a long time people thought of him as a track rider and then a classics rider. Now you were the Under-23 world champion, weren't you, as a young man? So for you, was it more clear that this was your future, and from an early age you always knew you were a GC climber and a proper kind of Grand Tour contender?
I think we have also can do a step below. In '95, he's also world champion in San Marino Junior. I do second place. So in that time, 14, 15 years old, you can see, and also in yourself, you start to think where you want to go. And finally, the world champion is when you compete with the best rider in the world of your age, and when you compete well and you are on the game, you start to think one day I want to take the pink jersey or win Milano-Sanremo or Liège or whatever. And in that moment, 15 years old, I start to dream real. Also, I dream 8 years old. But finally, I think 15 years old, and when you start to see which is the road to follow.
So as a young man, and we can see some fantastic...
First bike.
A very Italian childhood, because cycling was obviously something that was very deep, a passion from a very early age, which is perhaps something we don't have in this country as much as you do in Italy.
But I remember just when is it? 2-3 days ago, I go to the Giro presentation, and the Giro next year arrive in Verona into the arena.
Yeah.
And the first memory I have is when in '84 I go with my parents to Arena di Verona to see Francesco Moser winning into the Arena di Verona. And that is my first memory in the cycling. I'm 7 years old.
Yeah.
And 27 years later, I win in the same seat.
Fantastic.
In Arena di Verona. That is connection, of course, where you feel something special.
Yeah.
And, in Italy, you start with, of course, Binda, Coppi, Bartali, Gimondi, Moser, Bugno, and up. So the history is really long.
Yeah, yeah. Why are, when you talk about the World Championships, why are the Italians as a nation, do you think, so good at producing world champions and racing as a national team? When you won the World Championship in Falkenberg, the Under-23 World Championship, there were 3 Italians on the podium. And that's quite common, isn't it, that Italians sort of dominate the upper places?
Well, I think the Italian Federation make hard work from the past. I remember we do, in that time, 98 and 95 and 98, already we train in altitude. In Livigno, we do training camp. It's a good organization. And finally, the good work of the federation, you also is in England or Australia or Colombia, when you see so many good talent come in, is because we have worked from the base. So you don't got strong rider, 20, 22, 23 years old. You have to start from the bike school and small category and go up. So try to teach cycling, not just give on the bike. They have to teach cycling. And finally, I think this time the federation worked very well and they come out a lot of talent.
Yeah. Is there also something in the characteristics of Italian racing, the tactical understanding of a one-day race as opposed to a 3-week stage race? They're very different things, aren't they? And Team Sky have developed a method for winning a 3-week race. But Great Britain, you know, in the World Championships, don't have a fantastic record. They often come in with one plan, and when that plan falls flat, they don't have another plan. Whereas the Italian national team seems to be versatile and very flexible.
Yes, I think this is also depend of the kind of talent you have and the generation. Sometimes you have a sprinter. Now in Italy, for example, we have Nibali. He do stage races and also day races. Like he can win Giro and Tour and also Lombardy or Milano-Sanremo. But for example, we have Viviani now, full sprinter, and after Nibali, it's not easy to find another one for the big tours. And now in England we have a good rider or Colombian for the overall. Finally, I think you have to. I remember Bettini is here in some years ago. Bettini win a lot of world champion and Olympic. Now is Slovakia with Sagan for the world. So depend of the generation and which kind of talent you have, and you have to focus or in the day race on the stage races.
Yeah. Now, of course, your greatest achievements clearly were the 2 Giri d'Italia, 2006 and 2010. It's quite a long time ago already. Time passes quickly. Which of those 2 races was the best? Which was the best win?
The best, I hope, is with one of my young rider. Bring to the Giro and win the Giro with one talent of my school.
Yeah, but of your
in my
of your
Giro,
successes,
of
yeah.
course, I think the second one, my history is a bit complicated, of course. Maybe not everybody know, but you have the Giro, have the Bannet, and again win the Giro 4 years later. I think is one of the best situation you can prove to yourself something really special.
So to come back after your suspension for doping, then to come back in
you are in a high level, you go really, really down, and you come up on the same level. You learn a lot, and of course you don't learn a lot only like a cyclist, but like a man. And I use a lot of this experience now in the young team.
Yeah,
It's really, really important. That period is very, very hard and very bad, not only for me. I also do something bad for the cycling, but all the history, I think, when you work hard to come out of the bad problem, you learn a lot, and you can prove yourself to the others, which is the way to follow.
some people, Ivan, think that your generation of riders has no place in modern cycling, and that they have quite an extreme attitude, quite black and white. For example, when Alejandro Valverde won the World Championship this year, lots of people celebrated, but some people thought, I don't like that, you know, given his association with the past. But do you think that your voice, as someone who was a doper, someone who was suspended, is still important, especially when you're dealing with young riders as you do on a day-to-day basis?
For my experience, yes, because when I with my team, I'm really open, and I give my personal experience to development in the right way.
Yeah.
And it's also complicated to convince everybody to think the same. I think in the public, you have to respect the people, say the great things to Alejandro, and also the people don't say this. Of course, I'm in the people to say Valverde. I think no way to say is not a super champion. If you see what he do in the world champion, I think 9 times in the top 3.
Yeah.
If I don't.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
9 times in top 3. Is already there, the answer of the values of Alejandro.
Yeah, yeah. When you were talking, we saw some pictures of you riding for CSC against Armstrong and the Tour de France. You finished on the podium, of course, on the Tour de France. And also, one of your other rivals from that era was Jan Ullrich, who was also here last year at the Rouleur Classic, and I interviewed him on this stage. Jan is in a lot of trouble at the moment, as I'm sure people know. Have you had contact with him? Do you know how he is? Are you a friend of his? Are you able to help?
Yeah, well, of course. I'm a good friend of Jan, and just a message in between. And of course, it's hard time for him, but he have a lot of friends, and many friends is coming from the cycling, a lot of colleague and mate, and I'm pretty sure we see Jan back soon.
I hope so, yeah, because he was a lot of, I don't know if people were here last time. When
He's
Jan
fantastic.
He was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Really, really, really good guy. And Lance? You still talk to Lance?
No, the last time not. No, not
like
because
that.
I have a problem
Not
with
like
him, of course. Lance personally is always good with me. I never have a problem with him.
Yep.
And he's also support me when I have a cancer in 2015.
Correct.
He's the first one to give the help to go to US and make some extra treatment.
Yep.
And we stay into contact after my recovery of the surgery, and nothing. I do, in this moment, honestly, I have 38 riders in my control and 25 people of the staff, and he has a lot of work, and a lot of things to do, and look in front and not in the back.
You're a busy man. Did you, during 2018, did you get a chance to watch the racing on TV and to watch the Giro d'Italia, watch the Tour de France, watch the Vuelta and the classics? And what do you think about the year of racing that we just had? Was it a good year, a vintage year?
What do you mean?
Was it?
È stato un anno, una stagione particolarmente eccellente per ciclismo, con le grandi gare?
Oh no.
In general? No?
Yeah, this year.
Sorry, I don't understand this question. No. I'm also see some races. I don't follow only my young team with Alberto. We track Segafredo and especially into track ride or Segafredo ride or CA technology ride. I follow the race from another view, and I think cycling is you have a excellent, healthy. A lot of spectator, and also the race Giro d'Italia, for example, Froome in the last 2-3 days he make a fantastic race. Tour de France is still sometimes is not so open, but because the Tour de France is the fastest races, they go all fast from the start. I remember when I'm a rider, it's the only race you fight also in the neutral. In the neutral start, you fight like in the last 3 kilometers to take the position. It's incredible. So that's why the Tour sometimes is not so open, the race, because everybody go fast. And finally, you can move. If you want to move, you have to go more than fast, and that is not possible.
Yeah.
And finally, Vuelta also stage a bit shorter.
Yeah.
And so you can move a bit more. And I love the cycling. So for me, it's difficult to me say cycling is boring.
One of the best races, I thought, last year was Milan-San Remo.
Yes.
Was Vincenzo Nibali's victory.
Yes.
How much more do you think we will see from Vincenzo? Is he near to the end of his career now, or do you think he can still really figure on the grand tours?
I think yes. But you have to use. Nibali is one rider with talent out of the normal champion.
Yeah.
You have something more, something you can't see, because when he move, he don't move because they say in the radio attack. He move when he feel is the moment. And finally, I think with if he use his talento nascosto, come si dice? Talento nascosto.
If he uses his hidden talent.
Yes, he can make something really special also in the big tour.
Yeah. People forget, I think, on the Tour de France this year how unlucky he was on Alpe d'Huez. And actually, he finished very strongly on that stage, but it was already over for him. Yeah.
But that is one career of 15 years can happen. Sometimes you have good luck, like when he win the Tour de France, Froome and Contador crash and go out, and that time happened to him. So in 15 years, the balance still go on the level.
That's true. Team Sky are, in France, they're very unpopular. The French don't like Team Sky. They don't like the fact that Team Sky win their race every single year. What about in Italy? How are they considered in Italy? For example, when Chris Froome won the Giro d'Italia, the first Sky rider to win the Giro d'Italia, could people celebrate that? Is he popular?
Of course. In Italy, they love the strong rider and the good team. I think also in French, sometimes make more rumor. You have 1 million spectator, and 50 people say something bad.
And a lot of people...
And all the rest, so the 99% say good things.
Yeah.
Finally, they talk about the bad things. I think that kind of... I don't trust in this... in France, they don't like Sky. Of course, Sky have one line. They work like that, and they have fans, and they have some no fans, but that is like the football. If you have two teams in one game, one the fans of one team say bad to the other, and so that's also in the cycling can happen. I think it's not nothing really extreme if somebody say I don't like Sky, I don't like Trek Segafredo, I don't like Cofidis or whatever. Yeah. But you don't like, but also a lot of other people like.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It's a fair point. In the older sport, you have different kind of fans. Yeah. And I think that is pretty normal and physiologic. Also, the people have to like what they want to like.
True, true. I think there may be more than 50 people in a million who don't like it.
Okay.
But
500.
I understand your point.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But you touched on it earlier at the beginning of our conversation when you were talking about your young kids in the Contador Foundation. Yeah. You joked and you said, except Sky will take the best and da-da-da-da-da. It is difficult for the other big teams now to compete with Sky, who seem to suck in all the winners of the Tour de l'Avenir, so likes of Egan Bernal, he goes to Sky and becomes the next. It does seem to be a very, very hard proposition for the other teams. No?
That's happened, but I think our work is not... we have a lot of talent in the world. So for example, my job is try to find new talent, development, and bring to Trek Segafredo. And we are not jealous of the young rider of Sky. We are good enough to... my team in this moment, I really believe we have... we have 38 riders from juniors, Under-23 and professional continental team. In 2022, at least 5-6 of these 38 are in the World Tour.
Yeah. And are they mostly Spanish, Ivan?
No.
Completely international?
Honestly, the best scouting we have, the team is me and Alberto on the top, and his brother, of course. Two sport directors, two men really close to us, to me and Alberto in our career, but we have also 8 other old teammates make a scouting in all the world. Okay. But we are really, of course, because it's more easy also. In Italy and Spain, we are more present, but we also look in all the world. Now we have 3-4 more seats into the team, and we look in November 3 more new riders. They are not coming from Italy or Spain. So we have a long list of 15 riders. We have to choose another 3.
Very good. And how is Alberto Contador now he's not racing? Has it been easy for him not to race? Because when you guys stop, it's sometimes very difficult.
For Alberto, every day is Christmas now. Yeah.
He's happy. He's enjoying it.
He's happy, of course. We are happy. The cyclists are always happy because we have a privilege to. You start with the bike like toys. You make like a sport. You use the bike for your work, and now you still use the bike for to have enjoy time. I think we can't aren't happy.
Brilliant. It's really nice to see you again. Thank you for coming here. I like the Molteni kit, by the way.
Molteni kit is the original one. It's a present from Mario Molteni. So it's...
that is it. Very good.
I'm happy. I see in the 6 days They have the jersey,
They
so
did.
I decided to have also here.
Looks very good. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go and meet Ivan, take a selfie or a picture, an autograph,
go
you
to
are
Koo.
going to the Koo.
Yes.
K-O-O, Koo. Don't know how to pronounce it.
Koo.
Koo.
Sunglasses.
Stand through there. And that's where Ivan is heading to now. Very shortly after a 5-minute break, we have got the president of the UCI coming up here to talk about the World Championships along with Gary Verity and Lizzie Deignan.
Telephone.
So plenty more to go. But in the meantime, many thanks to Andy. And that was great. Thank you very much to Ivan Basso.
Okay.